I think I should be wearing a GoPro camera so you folks could get a sense of the power in this room. Some of you may remember this. When I went to college, the women during orientation week were given whistles. And we were told that if we felt in danger, that if we were coming back from the library late at night and we were concerned about sexual assault, we were supposed to blow this whistle. So, setting aside the absurdity of that as a defensive weapon against sexual assault, I do want to say it did one thing. I could be in my dorm room on the 4th floor, and if I heard a whistle, I and my friends ran down the stairs and ran outside to help. Men and women friends. So I want to contrast that with these two extraordinary women, Annie Clark and Andrea Pino. They're in their early 20s. They're both survivors of sexual assault on campus. They found each other, they helped each other heal, and they began to find other survivors via the internet, via college forums. And they put a map in their living room. It looked like a sheet, and they took little stickies and they put stickies on the map for every university where there had been an assault. And they began to find a pattern that, of course, you connect the dots and it's across the entire United States. But the second pattern was the perpetrators were getting off with nothing or a slap on the wrist. And so they researched. And they personally found the language of Title IX, and most of you probably know that language was drafted 40 years ago to make it equitable in sports and athletic programs between gender, but it turns out you can lift the language and use it for anything that is interfering with your ability to learn at a university. And so they filed a Title IX complaint. And if a university is found out of compliance, federal funds are taken away. And this network that they built, they filed, in 2014, there were 50 complaints. There are now over 160 Title IX complaints in 2.5 years. Rolling all the way up to public policy, to President Obama, who decided to back funding for the Department of Education because there's so many claims they don't have enough people to handle them. I want to contrast that with the suffragette movement. If you go back to 1800 to 1920, 120 years to get the vote. 120 years to affect public policy. So look at the difference, 2.5 years, 120 years, and what is the difference? The difference is the power in this room, but it's also the tools that we have now, tools that many of the professionals in this room helped develop to stay connected, the internet, to be able to create a hashtag and surface some ridiculous problem that women are facing in a very short period of time and have it trend. So if you think about the suffragettes, they would go and have a powerful day like this, and then they would drive home in their wagon and be alone and maybe, get a letter or a newsletter. I mean, the intensity must have waxed and waned, but something is happening in the zeitgeist right now where we have the ability to create sustained visibility and accelerate progress. And that is what Watermark is. Watermark makes what's invisible visible. Marlene mentioned our mission earlier to support and grow women at the top. That involves so many things. It involves the emerging executives in this room who need coaching, mentoring, who need to have the courage to ask for raises, for promotions. It involves building this kind of business network to support each other, but when I say support, I don't mean therapy. I mean business economic support. All powerful movements in history that have succeeded because they supported each other economically. And I think this acceleration is leading to the time when we support each other economically, when we roll up to public policy, which is our third area for Watermark, is advocacy. I don't think we should have to wait 120 years to see parity on compensation, to see parity on promotions and levels of women. And I propose that together we keep this momentum going, we keep this visibility going, that we join together on public policy. I am sick of this argument about quotas. I don't care about quotas. What I care about is 2.5 years to see these young women, these emerging executives, change the landscape of something huge and roll it up to public policy. As my husband said to me last night, I said, we're looking for 50% parity. He said, Lynn, you're looking for 51% parity. And so, I'm taking my whistle, and I am metaphorically blowing this whistle, and I am asking everyone in this room that is not a member of Watermark, please join us. Increase the visibility, increase the acceleration, let's get the public policy shifted. It is absurd that today there is still odd discrimination against 50% of the population. It makes zero sense, it's unfathomable. So I am saying that we are not only at time, we are past time. Thank you very much. Thank you for coming. And this is only possible because of our amazing sponsors. So I would like to introduce Aaron McSweeney from EMC, one of our amazing sponsors. Thank you.